Hey everyone, it's Gypsy Spirit here with you, and I want to talk to y'all about the big red flag. We have so many red flags all the time slapping us around, and we don't ever listen to them. I'm going to tell you a story about my ex-boyfriend, actually, Brian. Brian is my ex-boyfriend. Brian passed away about 3 years ago. He was a severe alcoholic. That's how he died, was through alcoholism. And after he let me go, he had a girlfriend. Her name was Tiffany. And they dated for they lived together for about 6 years, something like that, maybe 7, I don't really remember. But just before he passed away, they were having problems. They were having problems way before he passed away, but anyway. They were having problems, and she reached out to me because she wanted to know if the things that he was doing to her, if he did those same things to me, if there was a pattern. And yes, some of the things that he did, it was a pattern, his way of getting out of relationships. But anyway, so she told me this story about something that had happened, like on their second, I think maybe it was their second or third date. And I thought, oh my God, what is wrong with that girl? His dick ain't that good for her to go back to that. But anyway, she told me this story about how one night they were out drinking, partying it up. It was on a Sunday night, and they stayed at this bar until about 2 a.m, and they were coming home, and they had to go over this bridge. Now, it wasn't a big bridge like the San Francisco Bay Bridge or anything like that. It was a small bridge, just connecting from one little island to another island. And but it was enough. Anyway, she had to go to the bathroom really bad, and they were going over the bridge, and she decided she was gonna take her panties off and stick her ass out the door. She was gonna open the door and hang herself out the door and pee while he was driving. And she did. And while they were going over this bridge, and her ass is hanging out the door, the door is open, he went over this bump or something, and she fell out of the truck as it was moving onto her back, onto hard concrete asphalt. And she said she just laid there because she thought when she was falling out, she could see her life before her. She thought she was going to die, and she just lay there. And there was a man that just happened to be walking across the bridge, and because it's 2 o'clock or after 2 o'clock in the morning, and there's really not much traffic at all going over this bridge at this time. But there happened to be a man walking across the bridge, and he happened to see her. And he walked over and checked on her, made sure she was okay, and he called an ambulance. Do you know that Brian never came back to check on her? Now, again, this is not a long bridge at all. I don't even think this bridge is a mile long. So he could have very easily turned around and come back around and checked on her. He didn't. He just kept on going. And then he called her a couple of days later. And I said to her, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. So I repeated what she had just told me, because I wanted to make sure that I'm hearing this straight. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I know this guy has done stuff like that before. He did a hit and run and actually killed somebody and ran. And when he and I were together, he got into an accident. He caused the accident. It was a hit and run, and he was arrested for it. But this is, a date. She was in his car, his truck, and she opens the door and she falls out, while she's peeing. And he doesn't turn around to check on her, make sure she's okay. He leaves her for dead. He didn't care if she's dead or alive. He didn't turn around to check on her because he knew that if he were caught, one, he was drinking, so he was going to go to jail, at least for no other reason, for DUI. Okay? But anyway, so I repeated it to her. I was like, okay, wait a minute. This is what he did. She said, yes. I said, and you went back, you continued to see him? And you moved in with him? Was that not a red flag for you? I mean, this guy you could have died. It doesn't matter whose fault it was. It's just the fact that you could have died. And he didn't care enough about you to turn around in his vehicle and go back and check on you, call an ambulance. Thank God there was a man walking. That man that was walking across the bridge was her savior that night. I said, he didn't even go to check to see if you were dead or alive. Or, call an ambulance, call help for you. No, he didn't care. And honey, if you're in a relationship with a man that shows you that kind of disrespect, and you continue to see him, and then at the end of the relationship, you get mad with yourself because of the way you let him treat you, you have nobody to blame but yourself. My daddy used to say, when things like I would do something wrong, or after I'd been warned, or I knew I shouldn't do it, he would say, you don't have nobody. He said, well, you need to go look at yourself in the mirror, and that is the person that you need to blame. Don't blame anybody else. Blame that person you're looking at in the mirror. So if you're dating somebody like that, or you're being treated that way, and you're paying a high consequence right now because you didn't listen to the red flag, go look at yourself in the mirror. You're the one to blame. That person showed you in the very beginning what they were all about. Just like Brian showed Tiffany. Now, I'm going to say, Brian showed me too. I'm no different, I'm no different. I had to learn. Brian taught me and many other women lessons. But I learned, and I hope Tiffany did too, that you got to listen to those red flags, or there's a high consequence to pay afterwards. I know she paid a high consequence. I know her story. I paid a high consequence too, with being with somebody like that. So listen to the red flags. That's your higher divine, your intuition trying to talk to you and help you. And it's saying, run, Forrest, run. Yes, run. Don't go back. I hope you learned something from this. And if you probably got a friend that needs to hear it, so share it with your friend. In the meantime, thank you for listening. And I hope that you have a wonderful day or evening whenever you're listening to this. Stay safe and warm and make good decisions, because remember, our decisions don't just impact us, they impact many others. Bye-bye.